This is everything you need to know about update 50 in Bloons TD 6. The main feature of the update is a brand new hero called Silas. Silas is basically every single tier 5 ice monkey combined in one. The way that Silas attacks is by using this attack which first slows down the balloons and then freezes and does damage to them, and as you guys can see, he has some very interesting features, like for example freezing the water around him, which means you can instantly deploy land towers in the water, and he himself has the properties of an ice monkey, which means that he can be placed in water by himself. Now Silas is a very interesting hero because right off the get-go he has innate camo and innate lead popping power, and even though he's only level 3, he is actually slowing down a DDT. This is quite insane. Now Silas has 3 abilities. The level 3 ability is called Frostbite, and it allows him to pop white balloons, which are obviously immune to his attacks, and then all the frozen balloons take a little bit of extra damage. The level 7 ability is called Frozen Cascade, which makes ice shards get released around Silas and the 10 nearest ice monkeys around him, which looks something like this. His level 10 ability is called Frozen Burial, which does 2 things. Number 1, it freezes everyone on screen, and then number 2, starts summoning these ice walls in which the balloons bump around and they cannot exactly go through them unless they break through the ice. So Silas is a very powerful support-based hero whose idea is to stun, slow the balloons down, and keep everyone in place, and we're going to be doing a dedicated video on him, so if you guys want to catch that one, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now this update comes in with a brand new map called Lost Crevasse, in which the balloons are coming out from 2 sides, but they're walking out in a very interesting pattern. They're coming from the left side and going out on the right side, but these balloons are coming out of the right side are actually separated into 2 tracks, with one of them continuing here towards the left, and there's also this kind of a crystal made barrier which blocks vision as well, so it's gonna be interesting to figure out how we defend this one. Now it comes probably my favorite feature of the update. I know that we have a brand new hero, but we have something known as Powers Pro making their way for the first time in Bloons TD 6, which are basically powers but upgraded versions of them. We're starting things off with 2 pro powers, which is the Banana Farmer Pro and then the Super Monkey Beacon, and the interesting thing about these guys is that they actually have upgrades. So once you place them, you can actually choose a path and then have them do a specific thing, like maybe global collection range of the Banana Farmer. He can buff your farms and make them produce more money, or he can automatically invest and deploy cash into banks. The second one is called the Super Monkey Beacon, which has a couple of interesting upgrades. This is basically the Super Monkey Storm ability, so the top path basically makes it a lot stronger by triggering a second and a third storm. The middle path reduces the cooldown of the ability, and then it gains a permanent turret attack, which attacks like a super monkey, and then the last one makes the storm do a lot more damage, and then the more you use it, it permanently increases the damage each time it's used. Now the way that you unlock these powers pro is by just placing their normal power equivalent. So for example, one Banana Farmer place gives you 100 XP, so you're gonna need to place 100 of these guys in order to unlock the Pro Farmer. And it works kind of similarly for the Super Monkey Beacon, which gives 200 XP per usage of the Super Monkey Storm. Now if you guys don't want to go through that, you can instantly unlock both of these pro powers with a Powers Pro launch pack in the store, and you're also gonna get 20 of each power. So if you guys are planning on doing that, please don't forget to use my code EthanReed in the Bloons store. Now I actually don't recommend doing that. I would recommend you guys go in the web store and do your purchases there, because in the web store Ninja Kiwi always throws a little bit of something extra for you guys. Like for example, if you buy double cash mode, you're gonna get an extra tier 5 insta monkey. Not only that, but for the next month, each time you use a creator code, like for example code EthanReed, you guys are gonna be getting 5% off every purchase you make on the web shop. I want to say a huge thank you to every single one of you guys that has used my code so far and supported the channel, and if you guys plan on doing any purchases, you should be doing it through the web store because the deals are much better over there. Alright, so let's go into balance changes. Not that many balance changes in this update, but some of them are really interesting. Like for example, starting with the Dark Monkey, the crossbow is getting its pierce increased from 3 to 4, and then if you go for the top crosspath, the pierce is going to get increased from 9 to 12. So yeah, definitely a lot stronger in the early game. The Absolute Zero is finally getting nerfed. This used to be an S tier tower, and I still think it is, but let me tell you guys about the nerfs. The main global freeze duration is getting reduced from 0.75 to 0.6 seconds, and the cooldown on the Absolute Zero ability is getting reduced by 5 seconds. It goes from 20 seconds to 25. Now there are so many changes happening to the Desperado where every single crosspath is getting buffed actually. So let's start with the top crosspath where the quick draws price is getting reduced by a little bit. The big iron, the standoff bonus basically gets is getting increased from 60% to 120, so it's gonna get a lot more attack speed. The twin sixes are getting buffed. They are now $1,000 cheaper, plus they do +1 damage, and then the Blazing Sun, the tier 5, which had a very underwhelming launch. This thing is getting buffed yet again. The fire AoE pierce, the radius, and the damage are all getting increased, so it's going to be really fun to see how the Blazing Sun performs in this new update. Talking about the middle pad, the Bullseye's price is getting reduced by a little bit. The Rifle Pierce on the Deadeye is getting increased from 3 to 4, and then the Bounty Hunter's price and pistol damage are both getting buffed, with the price being a little bit cheaper and the pistol damage getting increased by 4. Now this next change is very interesting because in the Golden Justice they increased the damage. It's not like this guy was lacking any damage, but now he goes from 210 to 280 damage per attack. He marks Bloons a lot faster every 3 seconds, and then the pistol attack is also getting buffed as well, with the Pierce getting increased by a little bit. And finally the bottom pad, which is getting insane buffs as well, with basically every single upgrade getting increased in some ways. The Wanderer is getting a lot more attack speed. The Nomad bonus from Bloons is getting increased as well, goes from 1% to 2% extra attack speed per balloon. And because he's getting a lot of attack speed from these first 2 tiers, the third tier, the Enforcer, is getting its attack speed a little bit adjusted for these changes. The Avenger is now doing a lot more damage with the pistol, goes from 12 to 18, and then the Desert Phantom pistol damage is also getting increased by a lot, actually 20 to 50, and then he's getting a ceramic bonus increased from 20 to 50 as well. Now let's talk about the sniper, and specifically let's start with the 520 Cripple Moab, which has its shrapnel pierce getting increased from 3 to 6, but more importantly the lifespan is getting increased by a lot. Actually, you guys might be noticing that these shrapnels are actually flying pretty far behind the target. The Elite Sniper tier 5 is also getting its price reduced by a decent amount. Actually, it goes from $14,000 to $12,000, and then some small price adjustments happening to the semi-auto when that thing is about $200 cheaper, but then the price is getting moved back to the Elite Defender. Now this is a very interesting change where the favorite traits sellback bonus is getting reworked. So the bonus from one single favorite trait is getting reduced from 0.1 to 0.04, but now you can stack more favorite traits both in order to get more sellback. It actually goes up to 3. So basically what this means is that if you want to get the max sellback bonus, you are going to need to have 3 favorite traits boats. The difference being that the bonus from 3 boats is now higher than the previous one. It used to be 10% and now it's 12%. Now we have a brand new tier 5 tower in BT6. Well, sort of. The tier 5 Druid used to be called Superstorm and now it's called Monarch of Storms. Now not only did NinjaQ change the name on this guy, but they also changed a little bit how this guy works. Like for example, the projectile can now bounce off of map borders. It's gonna create a lot more of these snowballs as it's traveling. Look at this thing, everything is bouncing around. He's creating such a mess on screen that he's actually like this storm type of a druid, with its projectile distance getting increased from 150 to 450. So as you guys can see, I mean, these tornadoes and the snowstorm balls are just bouncing all over the map now. And on top of this, the lightnings do a lot more damage, goes from 10 to 30. Now for all of you Megalodon enjoyers, he is getting nerfed yet again. This thing was a little bit too powerful and it still seems to be, but the damage is getting reduced from 700 to 600, and then the damage scale is getting reduced from 1.4 to 1.2k. So yeah, NinjaQ is still on the train of nerfing the Megalodon, but they are actually buffing the Giganotosaurus, the dinosaur, where the ability is getting a little bit more damage. And lastly, out of the hero changes, I think there's one important change that you guys might be interested in, and that is that Rosalia's level 13 BFB knockback is now basically getting reduced from 5 to 2.5. So basically she's not gonna be knocking back BFBs as much. This might be impactful in how she performs in the late game because she was very strong before, but overall those are the main changes of this update. As usual, we're gonna be making videos on every single one of these changes, plus the ones that we didn't mention in this video, so make sure to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'm gonna see you guys very soon.